All right, let's get you other updates from America. ICE agents are back in the headlines for their latest deployment across American airports. ICE agents are being deployed to assist during a time, remember, when airport security officials are not being paid due to partial government shutdown. TSA employees and other officials have slammed the administration for not paying Airport Security Agency, but pumping in funds for ICE and deploying them instead.
On a personal level, I don't think we need them here. We need to be paid. Why would you bring another agency to be TSA when you already have TSA?
I would like for them to fund TSA. I mean, that's what TSA is here for. They're here to be security. They're here to protect the people who are traveling. We don't need ICE agents to be doing that. We need for the administration to stop giving money to ICE and start giving it to the government entities who really need it.
ICE agents across airports have been seen without their masks, which the immigration officials have worn in previous instances, especially during the violent crackdown and clashes with anti-ICE protesters. Democrats have also slammed the Trump administration for this move. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said that ICE agents are not trained for airport security protocols.
Everywhere ICE goes, trouble follows. We've seen that. And it is highly likely the airports will be no exception. No one trusts that ICE is going to make things better. Patrolling airports is not in ICE's job description. It's certainly not what they're trained to do. And let's be clear, ICE agents performing the work of TSA officers are not going to make our airports any safer. It's going to make them less safe because ICE agents aren't trained in airport security.
White House immigration czar Tom Homan earlier had said that ICE has been deployed at 14 airports, including those in New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and Houston. Authorities said the agents would provide crowd control. However, Donald Trump said that ICE agents could also make arrests. The statement has triggered criticism and raised concerns over a repeat of the past incidents where ICE officials had killed 2 American citizens. Travelers are worried that similar tensions might play out at the airports as well. Let me go across to our correspondent Susan Teherani joining us live on the broadcast from New York to help us get an understanding of the latest. Susan, once again, ICE is in the headlines, it's in news, and people are concerned about why and for what reason ICE has been deployed at multiple airports in the United States. Take us through the latest sentiment and, of course, the reasoning behind the Trump administration deploying them at airports.
So because the Democrats are pushing to not fund the TSA and this partial shutdown on the Homeland Security at a very critical time, and because of the overcrowding at airports and long lines of TSA, and understandably a lot of TSA workers not going to work and many of them resigning, the administration decided to deploy ICE agents to help smooth out the lines, carry out the lines, while the TSA agents that are present are focused on TSA activity and surveillance. So these ICE agents are not doing the TSA's work. What they're doing is just helping move the lines and create some kind of order. And we've seen in those 14 airports that lines are moving quicker right now. But now President Trump says because there aren't enough ICE agents to be at airports and do ICE's work, and ICE is being funded, by the way. He's thinking of also deploying National Guards just as sort of a supplementary to the TSAs at these airports, so the workload won't be so much on those TSA agents, which frankly, there's just not enough of them. That's why we're seeing just hours and hours of long lines at airports. So he's considering that as well. So the sentiment among Democrats is they're concerned that there's going to be some kind of skirmish between people and ICE. But what we've seen at airports, because protesters aren't allowed to, blow whistles in their faces and protest at airports, things are, at least for now, moving smoothly. But nonetheless, the issue of ICE, as you mentioned, has become a focal point in this sort of back and forth between lawmakers, and it's the TSA agents and ordinary Americans who are really seeing the brunt of this.
All right, Susan Teherani, thanks very much for joining us at the moment.